Hi, I'm John Brenner with Poets and Quants. Welcome to our alumni interview at CentreCourt with a terrific candidate, Jasmine, who is a 2019 MBA graduate from UCLA Anderson School of Management, who is currently a program manager at Facebook. Really cool job. Before she went to B school, she had a variety of roles, including a consulting gig at Deloitte, a little time at Visa, and even at LinkedIn. So welcome, Jasmine.
Hi there, John. Hi, everyone. Thank you. I'm super excited to be here
It's
today.
great to have you here. So tell us early on about your decision to go for the MBA in the first place.
Yeah, definitely. Well, when I was a curious and prospective applicant myself back in the day, I remember that before I even stepped foot onto the UCLA campus, I met several student, staff, faculty from the Anderson network, and immediately felt their genuine, inclusive, and very positive energy stemming from all of the folks that I met and engaged with. And I knew that, and speaking to a lot of people too, that the core of my MBA experience will revolve around the people that I will share time and life with, day in and day out. So that was incredibly important for me to gauge at the forefront and assess when I was selecting which school was the best fit, and definitely felt that the pillars, Anderson's pillars of sharing success, thinking fearlessly, and driving change all thoroughly resonated with me during that journey.
I can attest to the fact. I mean, I've been up, I've been down at the school because I live in Northern California. A number of times I've met a whole lot of students there, and they're incredibly welcoming, really good people, a lot of fun too. So that's terrific. So you went to UCLA. What were you intending to do when you went to get your MBA? Did you already know what your post-MBA career might look like?
In a way, yeah. When I was entering the program, my focus was to continue growing in management and organizations and technology leadership. So I knew that when I was doing research there, that they had a very interesting track that focused within that function. And so that really drew me in. And my background lay in technology and recruitment and people. And I knew that coming out of MBA in the long term, I definitely not only wanted to focus on honing my leadership and compassionate leadership abilities and skills, practice that during the MBA program, but also continue to stay within the people function.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the perfect fit.
Right, because in fact, you're a program manager in workforce planning for Facebook.
Yeah, so that all ended up aligning well.
So how did your early impressions of the school line up with what actually happened in the 2 years that you were there?
Yeah, great question. So the impression of the MBA program, even before entering and speaking to alumni, was that it was relationships matter. It was all about relationships. And I learned that I had interesting experiences inside the classroom and outside the classroom. And inside the classroom, I would say, was very collaborative. The core curriculum was very diverse and very relevant to our times today in our constantly changing business world. But I would have to say that a huge component of my experience was experiences outside the classroom and creating authentic memories and connections with my classmates from a day-to-day basis, and being a part of all the identity, interest, and professional clubs there were on campus. And I think that's where I grew the most in both my business IQ and my leadership EQ, I would say. When my second year, I was president of the Asian Management Student Association, and through the 2 years, led a variety of different hip hop dance classes for my peers. And that was it was one of the funner moments throughout my experience. And there was a weekend actually called Challenge for Charity Weekend up in Stanford, where all the West Coast MBA schools come together, partake in fun sports competitions for local charities. And I actually led our team to first place in the dance competition. And I know that isn't what you expect when you're going into an MBA program, but I think just the camaraderie and the leadership that I was able to demonstrate through that entire experience of leading those classmates, probably that was my top highlight of the year.
That's funny. Now, were you a dancer before at all, or what? Or just someone who enjoyed dancing?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Did cardio dance classes. I partook in dance competitions, and I think I was able to take that interest and find my niche and community within UCLA and Anderson too. So that was awesome.
I mean, that's the great thing about a good MBA program. You know, you might not necessarily expect that in a graduate program that's professional, you can really pursue your passions and interests and have a lot of fun to boot. But it's really true. The diversity of options, right, that are co-curricular at a school like Anderson are amazing.
Absolutely.
What were some of the other things that you got involved in while you were there?
Yeah, so when I think about the identity, interest, professional, and institutional opportunities there, outside the classroom, there are a variety of amazing professional organizations, everything from the Anderson Tech Business Association to the Women's Business Connection that I loved being part of, and now I'm a mentor too to the current students in the program in that club, as well as the public speaking club. There were a whole variety, and a lot. The great thing is the intersectionality of these clubs. They come together, they co-create events, and they partner together through the entire year to include all of the different groups of students. And I love being a part of that. And also just in the academic realm too, during my second year, I had the chance to be a teaching assistant for a professor in the Global Communications and Leadership course. And I learned so much from being a teacher's assistant, seeing things from the teacher's perspective as well, and getting both sides of the experience there. So that was pretty neat too.
Now, what was your favorite course at Anderson?
Yeah, I was thinking about this, and I would have to say there's two. And if I could, and so they were incredible. The first one is a class called People and Organization, and it's a course led by Professor Sam Colbert. And essentially, this course were 12 students that we self-select to be there. We sit in kind of a seminar in a circle, a closed circle. It's a very safe space, and it teaches us how to completely derail who we think we are to become our full selves in terms of finding self-awareness, empathy, and self-value in who you are, so that you can demonstrate that as a leader down the road to your teams. And so it was definitely a transformative experience. And
I love that there were only 12 students in that seminar.
Definitely. I think that was a magical number to feel like you could be in a safe zone and also have enough time to share. Yeah.
What was your second most favorite course?
So that one, it was called Technology Management, and it was taught by Professor Terry Kramer. And I can't stop talking about it because I think what it really taught me how to structure my way of thinking in not just business situations, but personal situations in terms of so what's, key takeaways, contextual frameworks. And after assessing all the technology trends and looking through the cases, we always ended every class with key leadership imperatives and what's important for us as future technology leaders to have at the forefront of our minds. And so that was probably the most important aspect of that class as well. And I loved how all the classes that I partook in all had a focus on developing ourselves as the future leaders, because that is a key component of the MBA experience as well.
Now, I know that by virtue of Anderson's location in LA, the school has an exceptional group of practicing executives who come to school to lecture, teach, and involve themselves with students. Were you able to also interact or connect with some industry leaders while there?
Absolutely. And I think that was a very exciting part of the experience. We had, I believe it was the month of April, March and April, it was conference month. So every industry organization from healthcare to their technology, retail groups, they put on this conference, and the executives and top leaders and influencers from that realm came and spoke to us, led panels, and we had the one-on-one opportunity to meet and dive into conversations of those books. So that was an amazing time. It was free to students at the time, so why not take advantage of all of those opportunities? And also within our classes, like technology management, we had CEOs and leaders of tech companies come and speak to us and be part of our casework, and sometimes would even partake in that discussion too of how they would think through the case scenario themselves. So it was really neat to integrate what we were learning and our perspective with these seasoned leaders who are bringing their wisdom to us.
Now, your opportunity at Facebook, what role did Anderson play in helping you get that opportunity?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, when I think about academically and then leadership coaching wise and the preparation, all the preparation that our Parker Career Management Center took to really dive in and give us personalized, individualized career preparation, help and mentorship. I think I can't help these resources and these folks enough to get me here today. When I think about the work that I do today, I think about the classes that were so relevant, and at the time, maybe I didn't know it, but for example, in economics and learning about supply and demand models and being able to apply that currently when I'm crafting workforce supply and demand models and assessing that. Everything to another favorite class is managerial decision making. So now when I'm able to work with so many changing cross-functional partners, being able to take the best practices from that class and try to implement that in my communication and my work with my cross-functional partners. So a variety of very cool nuggets from the program that I definitely feel now have got me here 100% to where I am today.
And did you have coaching or mentoring at Anderson that helped in guiding you to land your job at Facebook?
Yeah, definitely. So not only leadership coaching, but also career coaching as well, from both when you're a student working with the Parker Career Management Center, but also as an alumni, being a part of the alumni network and the wealth of resources, connections, referral opportunities available there. One of my favorite opportunities was having an individualized leadership coach for our Anderson Leadership Development Program. And it was really neat to just, I met with my coach once every few months, and at those touch point moments got real raw and very honest with areas that I feel like are holding me back, limiting beliefs, and how I can continue to really grow and thrive in a very fast-paced business environment. So that really was I felt that was an incredibly helpful and positive support experience, in addition to the fellow classmates and alumni who are always there to just share success and continue to support each other through the way.
So Jasmine, if you had to think of 3 words that would best describe the culture of Anderson in its MBA program, what would the 3 words be?
Great question. The first word, it would have to be values. I think that's one that I know that when we're taught how to drive change and think fearlessly, it's in a way that you're using a values-based leadership approach to do so. So values, if this counts, shared success, shared success, shared/success.
Yeah, people are rooting for each other and they're helping each other, right?
Absolutely. It's this mentality that my success is your success is our success, so why not be there and support each other through the way? And you really feel that through the entire program. So,
can you remember a good example of that for you?
Yes, I think just through the entire experience, sometimes you face challenges, whether it's in your classroom, it's a tough course, or you're running for a leadership position within one of the organizations, and you have colleagues who are going through that same experience and are running for the same position. And typically you would think naturally it would be a very, I'm doing my thing, you're doing your thing. But what surprised me in a very wonderful way was that we we would continue to encourage each other on, and you can feel that encouragement,
Mm,
even though everybody's achieving for a very similar North Star. And I
sure.
think that was something that, because I was able to feel that and fuel that in Anderson, now even going out to the real world, and even in my current workforce, and even the relationships around me, being able to take that ideology and that mentality and apply that. And it only makes communities more positive by thinking in that way. So that I'm really grateful for that.
And your third word or phrase to
And my
describe the
third word,
culture?
yeah, it would be, so our in a way, it's forward slash thinking, forward
Uh-huh.
dash thinking.
Sure.
Our mantra was think in the next, and I really value that. I think as our entrepreneurial community is growing bigger and bigger, especially in Los Angeles as well. We have our Anderson Venture Accelerator program and incubators that are honing all of these new incoming and budding entrepreneurs, as well as just constantly providing the safety net that, think in the next, what's in the future, instead of being reactive to what's going to happen, be proactive. Think about how you can continue to build the newest technologies, or really think about what the world needs and address that right now as a budding leader. So definitely I felt that was also a key value there too.
So let me take you back to when you were first applying and thinking about where you wanted to go. What advice would you now have for people who are in that same place that you were in back then? You had an advantage, I think, because you were a business undergrad at Berkeley at the Haas School. So at least you had a sense of, the whole world of business, and you were not a non-traditional applicant. But what advice would you have for the general applicant to Anderson today?
Yeah. So when I was reflecting upon this, I was thinking it really is to reflect. Take some time to reflect and define what your personal mission statement is, whether personally or professionally, and what your core values are prior to launching yourself into this really, really amazing but fast-paced MBA journey ahead. And then using that as your guiding North Star throughout the entire experience. Because what you will face is that there are so many opportunities that will be presented in front of you. And even though everything works out for its own reason, if you're able to define what success looks like for you, and only you, and align your actions and decisions to that, then I'm sure that you'll be able to find your way and realize at the end of the day that it all happened for a reason. So I think that's the advice that I would give to myself, and I think that's something that has continuously helped me shape a framework when I'm making decisions through this entire journey.
Jasmine, it's often said that a 2-year MBA program is a transformative experience. Do you think it helped to transform you?
Yes, that's the best word to describe the experience, was transformative. I don't know how else to describe it. I think when folks ask me how it was, I feel like I transformed as not only a business professional, but internally too. Just growing in self-awareness, growing in understanding what your own reality is, and understanding how you can differentiate that from everyone else's reality, so that you can have a very empathetic mindset, and understanding how everyone operates, and understanding how the world operates, and being able to see from that lens. That's something that I learned a lot from my experience, and I don't think I would trade it in for anything else in the world.
I often think that the most underappreciated part of an MBA program is the incredible personal development that happens. You're going to learn accounting and marketing and statistics and finance and operations, but as a person, as a human being, you're going to get the tools to reach your full potential, and it's going to make a difference to you. Do you feel that way?
100%, 100%. And I think that's something that is a very positive surprise at the end of the journey, is that when in the beginning, a lot of when you're thinking about what your North Star is, oftentimes it's a career change, or it's personal leadership development. But at the end, when you look back You're like, wow, I'm so proud of the person I've become today. And the last 2 years have really helped hone that. That's just the best feeling.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
Jasmine, if we were in a different place and you weren't sitting down, I'd ask you to do a little hip hop stuff for me. But since you're sitting down, and I don't want to embarrass you, but obviously you are, you're really good at it.
Well, it's funny because for my work teams, every month we have an all hands, and something that I love to do is in the little Zoom box teach them some moves.
Oh, that's cool.
Virtually. So I could teach them moves as long as they're able to partake in
just a few moves. What?
All right. So I like to call this the shoulder wave. I know I'm in a virtual background, so shoulder wave. Yes. Awesome. And then I like to call serving to the left, serve it to the left, and to the right, and
I like
roll
that.
it.
All right. Hey, Jasmine, it's been a real pleasure.
Likewise. This is so much fun.
Thank you, and good luck to you in your career.
Thank you. Thank you. And you too. Please take care and stay healthy.
Yes. Everyone out there, stay safe, stay healthy. Jasmine Woe, Program Manager at Facebook, and of course an MBA, now an alum of the Anderson School of Management at UCLA. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you, John. Take care.